Hey guys, it's Mally. Welcome back to my channel. Okay, so today I have a different word for y'all, and it is called this: how to have a happier and more productive life. And I think this is not it's not like a prophetic word. I just wanted to kind of talk about this because I think that's something that I've walked through as a teenager. Because I think a lot of times, we go to school for a solid 8 hours and then you come home and it's like you feel so drained. And honestly, whenever I think about my day, I think more about school because that's what I did the most at. And then I think about home, you have all these other hours in the day, but I think they almost kind of go to waste because you were so drained from school. And so I find myself thinking that, school was mentally draining and that I feel like I don't have enough time for anything else. And honestly, I kind of took a step back and was I actually do have time for a lot more things. I just am prioritizing things wrong. So I almost wanted to come on here and talk to you guys about how I have made kind of more time for certain things that really matter. Like Jesus and spending time with him, my YouTube, things like that. And so I've kind of had to prioritize that, prioritizing making my YouTube videos or getting prepared for them or reading some good books. I've been reading this Blue Eagle book, and I've just had to kind of take time to, I need to intentionally spend time with this person because we feed into each other. I mean, they're a great person. They keep me accountable. I gotta intentionally do this. I have to intentionally spend time with Jesus. I have to intentionally, it's all about your intention, first of all. That's the first thing I want to tell you guys. But here is what the basis of this is get yourself better spiritually, emotionally, and physically. And that sounds so cliche, but honestly, it is so important for you to work on yourself. First of all, the ultimate thing you need to do is work on your relationship with Jesus Christ. But also through that, and in a lot of other ways, you can get yourself better literally through that time. And so I just kind of wanted to talk about each one of those today. So the first one is this: get yourself better spiritually. And one of the things that I do for that is I invest time in God. And I think that's so important that you almost prioritize, I'm going to spend an hour a day, either if it's in the morning or if it's at night, or maybe not even an hour, if you just spend 30 minutes or 15 minutes, whatever you feel most comfortable with, until you begin to build that relationship with him. Then it can go for an hour, But if you're just looking for somewhere to start, I just encourage you, start with 15 minutes. Give him solid 15 minutes. Put your phone away and just be there with him. Be present with him. And I think that's where you start, and then you can keep on growing from there. But I think that is how you get yourself better is spiritually. Get around people that also build you spiritually. Get away from people that are pulling you away from people that aren't spiritually well. And then the way that you live your life also is an example to other people. I think the way that we live our life is a testimony. And that's also why I think this is so important, that we are spiritually, emotionally, and physically all healthy and in a good spot, because the way that we are living our life, other people are seeing that, and then they can also glean from that. Another thing that I want you to do is keep your peace. I think that's so important, especially that means saying no to being around certain people. And I know at school you really don't get to pick, but you can pick what conversations you're in. You can pick where you sit at lunch. You can pick where you kind of spend your time at. And I think almost you have to learn to love your alone time. I used to be the type of person that always wanted to be around certain people during school and things like that, but I've honestly learned to love being alone. And a lot of times, I remember I came home and told my mom after my first day of senior year, I was I love school so far, but it's so lonely. I feel I'm very alone all the time. But honestly, I've learned to love that because I feel I can find peace in that. I can find peace in being alone in this world because I have someone so much greater. And why would I want to sacrifice my peace over being popular, over being in certain conversations? So I think almost prioritizing your peace is so important. And the last one is simply just to prioritize. I think that's so important. Like I was just kind of saying, prioritizing. Okay, when I get home from school, I'm going to take 30 minutes to kind of relax. And I think working on block schedule, I'm going to do 30 minutes. And if I'd say, okay, I'm going to go work on my laundry for an hour, then I'm going to take a 30-minute kind of breather, break, walk around, get a drink of water, get a snack, something like that, and then get right back to it. I'm going to do an hour, work on YouTube videos, take a 30-minute break, or even a 20-minute break. I don't normally take 30 minutes, but Just depends how long I've been working. But then I'll like set a certain time. Like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be intentional about this. I'm going to prioritize that. I think that's so important. And then also investing time into other people, I think is very important. Like, I have certain friends that I don't go to school with, but they are such amazing people. And I really like talking to them and being around them because not only do they keep me accountable, but they also help me grow spiritually. Two of my best like girlfriends, I don't go to school with them. They go to completely different schools than me. But what I do is I have to be very intentional. But also I'm just very intentional about I need to, kind of like talk to them at certain times during the week, and just kind of, and they can invest in me, I invest in them, and just like we help each other like spiritually and keep each other accountable. So I think that's also important, that you're investing time with other people that are healthy for you. And I think that almost like will go against like being around people that aren't good for you, because that kind of like combats that, and they can help you walk out certain situations. So yeah, that is for spiritually. Emotionally, I think this one is also just as equally important as spiritually, because if your emotions aren't right, it's easier for you to get distracted. I think a lot of times the enemy tries to get to us through our emotions, and that's also another video I'm going to film next after this video. But so if you guys want to know a little bit more about emotions, things like that, how to deal with them, I'm going to do a longer video on that later, but just to kind of skim over that. A lot of people are defined by their emotions, and I think that's almost the downfall for a lot of people, because you are so much more than your feelings. And I think if you let your emotions take over, if you let your emotions affect you negatively, I think that can almost almost ruin your day. Like sometimes I was saying how I get drained at being, I feel drained after leaving school, but if I let those emotions control me, then I won't be in a good mindset whenever I go home. So I have to almost change my emotions. And what I do is whenever I'm feeling down at school, I'll take a bathroom break. I'll go by myself for a little bit. I'll go walk away, do some certain things. I'll go to the bathroom and I'll just literally start praying. And then sometimes I put in my AirPods, I listen to worship music, I do stuff like that, because my emotions, I feel like, are so important to my day. Okay, the third one and last one is this, physically. I think this is also just as important. I know that whenever I get home and I've had kind of a cluttered day, I feel like a lot's going on at school, lots going on at home, YouTube, and trying to prioritize everything. Whenever life just gets busy, here's what I do. I put my phone down and I go outside and I take a walk. And that sounds like such a time waster, but I'm telling you, every single time I'm taking a walk, it honestly just so clears my mind. Being outside, there's something different about that. That sounds so weird to say, but going and taking a walk, getting your body moving, will clear your mind, seriously. And I found whenever I'll go on little certain times wherever I don't drink Coke, so I just drink water, it seriously sharpens your mind. And so if you're looking to go on I just encourage y'all to go in a 2-week span where you are having not a block schedule, but you're prioritizing spending time with God, spending time with good people, going on walks, drinking water, and just get yourself better emotionally, spiritually, and physically. I think that's so important. And here's what I kind of want to end on. Whenever we are mentally in a better place, we're more likely to hear from God. And what I mean by that is whenever we have our hearts open to what he's saying, whenever we have our mind clear to what he's saying, whenever our mind's not bogged down by what's going on naturally in the world, whenever it's tuned into what he's saying, then we're more likely to hear from him. We're more likely not to miss his voice. Because that is something I think that's so sad. So many Americans, people, they miss the voice of God, and they miss whenever he's trying to move in their life, because they have so many natural things in front of them. And so I think that also we're able to move more whenever he speaks to us if we're in a better mindset, if we're physically in a better shape, if we're emotionally in a better shape. Because I think a lot of times whenever God tells us something, if we are emotionally not okay, we're not, you might not be able to take it. But whatever God tells you to do something, if you're emotionally in check, if you're emotionally and mentally and spiritually there with him, then you're more likely to move with him. Is this making sense? I hope this is making sense. But the last thing I want to say is get yourself positioned to move. And I think that in this season, God is really I feel like for anybody that's been in a waiting season, I feel like that's so important. Do not waste your waiting season, because your waiting season isn't forever, and you're going to come out of that at some point. So if you are in a waiting season, you feel with God, or you feel like God's just been giving you some time to pause for a second before he asks you to move and do stuff, I think that's almost your time to, like I was saying, get yourself more productive, get yourself in a happy mindset, get yourself spiritually, emotionally, and physically and mentally all good, because whenever God tells you to move, you have to be ready to. You don't want to spend your waiting season laying back on the couch. You want to spend your waiting season ready to say, God, whenever you're ready to pull me out of this, I'm ready to run. And so I think that is just so important. So I hope this video encouraged you guys today, and if you have any questions, comment section down below. Also, I just want to encourage you guys to go down to the comment section below and comment any kind of videos you want to see, because I'm here for you guys. If you have any questions or certain topics you'd like me to talk about, I'm so open to that, and I'd love to do that. So I hope this video encouraged you, and I'll see you guys later.